Here we are. Hi, Silas.
Hi, Laurie. How are you?
Oh, great. Good to see you again.
Yes, and you. Yeah,
Hmm.
good. I like having these sessions because they feel like little islands to go to in all of the maelstrom.
Oh, that's lovely. Islands in the maelstrom.
Yeah, yeah. It feels like, oh, I've got that place to go to where I can do some discovering.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, I'm so
So
pleased
it's
it's
good
that
to
way.
see.
Yeah.
Mm, mm.
So last time we ended with you were going to go and play a bit in your
Yeah,
studio, in your, yes. How'd that go? Tell us.
yeah. It was really good, actually. It was very interesting just to kind of actually look at the values and tap into values and discover that thing of kind of respect and mastery and taking time and putting this work into the context of play.
Mm,
It's kind of loosened something up in me,
mm.
and so I I got all the recording stuff together, and I ended up picking up a kid's book.
Uh-huh.
uh, Which was on my bookshelf actually, given to me years ago by my dad.
Okay.
A little story written by an American guy, Ben Lucien Berman. He used to
Mm,
write about the Catfish Bend,
okay.
and they're kind of adult stroke kids books. They're kids books with real meat to them. So I just took out a section of that, and there are several kind of character voices, little animal voices. So I started playing around with it, and
Mm,
just coming at it from that kind of perspective of play was fantastic. So I just kind of created these little voices, and I ended up doing a lot more work than I thought I would. Suddenly, I was recording the whole thing, and then um, I was just wanting to, like put some little sounds and music. So I made a note to talk to the guy who's teaching me the software. How can I get music in there? How can I get sounds in there? And
mm.
so I'm playing around with silly accents, and ended up doing this great little recording, which can go on the website and can kind of like be in the library of snippets.
Nice.
It was really fun. It was
That's
really
great.
fun. Yeah.
That's great. So it sounded to me like you created a fun reason to go ask important questions like, how do I do music? And it wasn't like study.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
It was exactly that. Just shifting the perspective. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, great. And then the library of snippets. Is that what you said?
Yeah. The library of snippets. Yeah.
There's something important about that phrase, right? The library of snippets. Sounds a
Yes.
little Harry Potter or something.
Yes. Yeah. I must take you into the library of snippets. Take a snippet down from the top shelf. Um, it's kind of about breaking it down, really, because when you're auditioning for things, you want to be sending off bits and pieces of material that are
Mm,
relevant to the things that you're
yeah.
that you're auditioning for.
Mm,
So it's also practice for me, rather than do a whole book. If I'm
right.
doing chapters from different, it's looking at different styles of books, different styles of reading, character, playing around with character voices. And I just find that actually, if I'm kind of building this at the moment, then doing those things in short snippets leaves me feeling less kind of overwhelmed by the place I'm trying to get to. It's like little
Sure.
steps on the way.
Sure. Yeah. It's all practice and play, but real as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And creating a library, because on various different websites you can post these snippets, and then people have got different examples.
It's like a portfolio in a way.
Exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what I've discovered. It was just to kind of break it down, really.
Break it down, play, have fun.
Yeah, yeah,
Give
yeah,
yourself reasons to ask those questions to your
yeah. And the thing that was
experts.
really interesting is that suddenly I kind of realized that I created this little snippet, and hadn't noticed along the way that I was much better at editing. I was
Oh,
quicker. So it's almost like I was taking my focus off the technology side of it and putting my focus on something else. And
yeah.
then I suddenly realized, oh, I got through that technically very easily, or much more easily than before, you know. So there's,
Fantastic. Congratulations.
oh, thanks. Yeah, thank you.
You
Thank
snuck
you.
yourself through that stuff that you were nervous about.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think what the key to that was. I think it was that thing of just coming from a value.
Mm,
coming from a value and not being overwhelmed by, and this is actually the subject I want to pick up on this week. You know, it's kind of not being overwhelmed by the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, but actually to nibble away at something so that at some point further on down the line, you suddenly realize, oh, I'm just doing this now.
Mm. Great. Nibbling away.
Yeah.
Nibbling away on snippets.
Yeah.
Little bits. Yeah, and I'm really aware of attention, like focus and attention. I know this is a concept that I play with a lot. So your attention wasn't on the technology, it was on what you enjoy.
Yes.
And that attention on your values and what you enjoy had you keep moving because it's motivating and inspiring.
Yes.
So
Yes.
something about attention management, perhaps.
Yeah, that's really good. It is. There's something in there about about perspective, you know, about just kind of shifting your perspective on something to a perspective that's easier for you.
Mm.
You know. That's quite interesting. I mean, that is what I kind of wanted to bring to the session this week. You know, it's kind of interesting being coached and coming to coaching sessions. What I noticed about myself this morning was that I was very nervous coming to the session, and kind of being a bit hard on myself because I feel like, oh, I haven't got much to bring, or I haven't really prepared, or I don't quite know what it is that, you know, that I'm kind of wanting to focus in on. And then I noticed that there's this nervousness to turn up, and behind that, or alongside that, what I notice, which is a difficulty for me, is a tendency to want to then run away.
Okay.
So, so kind of like, oh, you know, can I cancel this session? You know, can I postpone all this till next week? And that's something that I notice about myself. There's a sense sometimes of overwhelm, you know, because I've been very busy this week on the other piece of work that I'm doing, the landscaping. And so it feels sometimes like things run away with me and I get overwhelmed. That happens to everybody. I understand that. But what's of interest to me is the point at which I go, right, I want to run away. And that's something I've noticed in my life, that I can give up on things.
Okay.
You know, so I suppose the topic would be, you know, how can I keep attention? And how can I be more forgiving in a place where I'm feeling, you know, overwhelmed? What I know is that I want to get to this place. I know I want to get to this place where I'm regularly, you know, creating voiceover work.
Yeah.
You know, regularly creating little bits of stuff that I can go onto the website. Regularly looking at auditions and things. But here I am in this place, doing some other work, starting to feel overwhelmed. And as that overwhelm builds, I feel like, oh, that's getting further and further away, and it's my fault.
Right.
And so I should cut and run.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I don't know how I can distill that into a topic. I think the topic is probably, how can I manage overwhelm? How can I stay focused or keep my attention?
It's a great topic. I love working with overwhelm.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay. And what I'd like to do is jump into the overwhelm, if you're okay with it, and just have you describe to me what all creates it, where does it come from, what's going on with overwhelm, what's it feel like, all that. So are you okay? I know you like to cut and run.
Yes.
Checking you're willing to stay with it for a little bit with me.
Yeah. I notice I'm holding myself like this.
Yeah, I can see
that. I'll let that go straight away. That's interesting, isn't it? Immediately I'm kind of going,
yeah. So can you get yourself back into, I mean, it's fine to do that. Maybe that helps. Get yourself into that overwhelmed place and just tell me what all, you know, there's a pile of stuff in there, or how would you describe it?
It's interesting that I said I feel like it's my fault. It's almost like I get to a point where I'm kind of beating myself up for what I haven't done, as opposed to maybe looking at what I am achieving and looking at what I haven't yet achieved as a dream, vision to go to, as opposed to something I should have done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
No, I notice how hard I get on myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So there was a self a week ago, 2 weeks ago, when we were talking, you've talked about making hay while the sun shines. Is that the expression how it goes?
Yes.
And going and doing all of this other work.
Yes.
While there's the possibility of it, because that was the reasonable, sensible thing to do.
Yeah.
And you've been doing that. And now I'm hearing, like, at this end of it, there's a part of you that's going, you shouldn't be wasting your time, or I don't know what it is, and you should be focusing on that. And even though you made a conscious decision.
Yes, absolutely. Daft, isn't it?
It's human.
It's just so daft. Yes.
It's so normal. Yeah, but
It is, isn't it? It is normal. Yeah. I think it's because, I actually really enjoy this other bit of work that I'm doing at the moment. It's also very creative. It's artistic. I'm landscaping somebody's garden.
Yeah.
And I know there's going to be an end point. And I know at some point the sun won't shine, and I will have time on my hands. And then when I've got that time on my hands, I can, again, really apply myself, to sitting down with the microphone and sitting down with some books. But somehow, somewhere I find it difficult to kind of compartmentalize those things.
Yeah.
Well,
if we can get in touch with a voice that says, you're not paying attention to the right things. Or you're not, that voice that was just critical. It's like there's one voice that says, I'm going to make hay while the sun shines, and this other voice going, yeah, you should be doing. I want to get in touch with that one and find out what the concerns are. So,
there's something that comes up. This is quite powerful, actually. There's something that comes up from when I was a teenager. I had this fabulous history teacher who was a young man. I mean, he was probably only a few years older than us students. And he was also my rugby coach, and he was a great rugby coach. And I loved playing rugby. But I got into the Oxbridge stream. So I was, doing an extra term to kind of apply to go to Oxford University, which in the end I didn't do. I went to drama school. And so I had a lot of work on. I had a lot of extra work on. And he came to have a chat with me about training for rugby. And he said something along the lines of, we need you to be training more. And this came out of the blue, and it kind of really surprised me. And I immediately felt overwhelmed. And a short while later, I actually stopped playing in order to be able to study more. But there was a part of me that locked that into, I'm not working hard enough. You should be doing more. Years later, I can look back and say, I know what he was doing. He was trying to encourage me to step up.
Yeah.
But because I felt overwhelmed, I stepped down.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that story kind of comes up for me because that's one of the struggles I have with myself. There's this voice saying you should be stepping up. And there's the reality of the fact that I feel overwhelmed because there's a lot going on. And so my reaction to that voice is actually not to say, oh, you're helping me, but to say, like, I can't take your criticism. I'm going to step down and I'm going to walk away from you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? That kind of.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's quite, I feel quite tight kind of, recognizing that and talking about
that. So it's in here, in your chest? Is that where's the tightness?
Yeah. It's definitely in my chest. It's this kind of, it's almost like it's hard to take a full, full breath.
Are you willing to just hang with that for a little bit? The tightness?
I'm not wanting to, but I will.
We won't stay there for long. Tell me a little bit about it. What else do you notice about it? Even things you see or feel or colors or anything else associated with it?
there's a kind of a red pall that comes over. I feel a kind of a redness coming down. Oh, like it's like a danger sign or something. And I feel sad. Actually, I feel quite sad when I tap into that, into that tightness.
So reds coming down.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
And what's happening with it?
It's kind of shifted into the back of my head. I can start feeling this tension in my neck. It's quite interesting. I went when you asked that. So it felt like the tension moved, and it kind of dropped from here, and it's in the back of my head a bit.
Yeah. So let me ask you a bit of a weird question.
Yeah.
You can disregard it. You can tell me that it doesn't make any sense to you, but try it on.
Yeah.
What does this thing, imagine it's a thing in the back of your head. What does it want?
The thing that comes to, there's a sentence in my head. It just says it wants me to fail. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's true, but that's the words that came to my head.
I imagine that's the feeling you get in response to this tension.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's interesting actually, because it kind of suddenly that question separates it from me. You know, like the picture that I had was of a claw. It's actually like a bird's foot clasping the back of my head. When I said it wants me to fail, that separated me from this thing. And almost immediately, it feels like the claw let go, like it had been discovered. So that's quite an interesting thing, actually, because it feels like something that's separate from me.
And now that it's separate, what can you do with it?
I kind of want to just turn and face it, actually. Now I don't see that it's there. Face it off. It's gone somewhere. It's flown away. Yeah. Yeah.
So we started with jumping into the experience of overwhelm.
Yeah.
And if I were to take you back there again, like to the beginning, because things have shifted. Yeah. So if you think of overwhelm again, what's different about it now?
Oh, you know, again, just words that come to my head. The words that I heard was, it's a construct. Overwhelm is a construct.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that means. Wow. Okay, so the words I heard were, it's a construct. And when I think about what does that mean, immediately I go into this place of like, well, I constructed it. You know, which means that I can deconstruct it. It's not who I am. So I just noticed now that I say things like, I say I am overwhelmed as though I am overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
Actually, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm feeling overwhelmed, or I'm scared of being overwhelmed, or I'm aware that I could become, but it's not what I am.
Right. Great.
Yeah, yeah. That's really interesting. It immediately puts a distance between me and it. So there's something that's kind of more forgiving that comes in. I mean, yeah. I was working after seeing you on Monday. I worked 5 days from Tuesday to Saturday on this landscaping job, and it's, you know, very demanding physical work, and I don't have a great deal of time outside of that, you know. And yesterday was my day off, and then today here I am. So there's immediately something forgiving, you know, that says, wow, you've been really busy. That's totally cool, and that's great. You know, you don't have to pile on more things that make you feel, you know, you can't do anything.
Mm-hmm. If you were to name that voice, I like to work with inner voices and name them. So it's a very forgiving, compassionate voice. What would you call that one?
I don't know why this comes into my head, but Bobby.
Bobby. Okay.
Bobby with an I.
Bobby with an I. Okay.
Where on earth does that come from? That's so funny. It's just that
it was clear. It was a quick answer. So really clear.
Yeah. That's I can. The only person I can think of who is Bobby. It's kind of, I suppose, in a way, it's fitting.
Okay, so you've got Bobby, who's compassionate, forgiving. I notice I'm shy about using the word forgiving because, like, why should you be forgiven for anything? But you tell me about Bobby.
Well, that's interesting that you would be shy about it. I see where you're coming from because there's nothing to forgive. However, I'm the person who used the word forgiving. You know, so maybe you picked up on that. And actually, it's I said it in the context of me forgiving myself. It's more about giving myself a break. So tell you about Bobby. I said Bobby with an I, you know, because that's the female version, and this voice feels very female, feels very nurturing and soft and motherly. But it's also a young voice. Mm-hmm. Bobby sounds like a young name to me. So it's, you know, there's kind of wisdom in youth, you know, that kind of strong, young, nurturing, mothering female voice that actually, you know, is fresh.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So that's Bobby. And in the same vein of naming a voice, what was the voice that has you get overwhelmed?
Stig.
Huh?
Stig is the name.
Stig.
I have no association with that name at all.
Great. And what does Stig say?
Stig. I don't know. Stig is black and treacly. It's a kind of a sticky personality thing that I keep seeing black treacle, and you know, getting stuck in it, and it getting stuck on you. You know, get away from this treacly thing that somehow is holding on.
And what does he want? And I assume I know Stig is a male name, so I went with he.
Yeah. Wow, what comes to mind straight away is that somehow Stig is jealous, and so Stig wants me to fail so that he can feel better about himself.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great asking these questions. I don't know where these things come from. They pop up, and I'm just being honest about what comes into my head. Stig wants me to fail so that he can look better. That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of wants me to stop so he can envelop me in his black treacliness.
Okay. And does this make some sense to you? Like if you look back at times when you felt overwhelmed and wanted to run, one of those moments, was that Stig in there going, you know, fail now?
Yeah, just stopping me.
Is he also the one that's been saying you should be doing these other things and you haven't been doing enough? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. So good job on being with overwhelm and sticking with it. and discovering
But
these.
it's a very, very uncomfortable place to be in.
Treacly in.
Yeah. Black
and treacly.
Mm.
Yeah. So you wanted to work on overwhelm and the whole idea that you might run.
Yeah.
So next time you feel overwhelmed, like you could even imagine, when might that happen?
Yeah.
Next time, what do you want to do instead? Like, how do you access Bobby's voice, or recognize that it's Stig and recognize that it's separate from you? You know, those kind of things that you've discovered.
Yeah.
How do you want to work with that next time overwhelm shows up?
Well, these images are really, really strong, and these personalities are really strong. So I immediately think that when I'm feeling overwhelmed, it's because that treacle is kind of seeping around me. Stig is kind of, So it's just to recognize that. Just to actually, now that we've done this exercise, I could go, okay, this is what's happening to me. You've got that feeling. Okay. So this is what's happening, and try and just tap into what it is that Bobby wants for me in that moment. If I think about feeling overwhelmed at the moment and feeling like I don't have enough time to do more recording and more playing, I can feel that treacliness coming around me. So it's just recognizing, okay, that's what's going on. That's not actually what's really happening. What's really happening is that you're just busy with something else right now. That's all that's happening. But you're feeling like this because Stig's getting its treacliness around you. Interesting that I said it and not he. Feels like a creature, actually.
Okay.
And so, yeah, just kind of going, okay, that's what's happening. Remind myself, what is it that Bobby wants for me? And what it is that Bobby wants for me is to, at some point, get to a place where the recording, the creating of snippets, the looking on the website, the auditions, is second nature. It's playful. And that is not, I'm not going to get to a place where something is second nature and playful if I allow overwhelm. It just keep that vision. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It's okay this week if you're really busy. Next week you might find you have some time to play around with, so just look out for that time. There's an easier way of kind of just tapping into where is Bobby taking me, and how does she suggest I get there? Because she has a different notion of how to get there. And immediately when I think about her, it's a lot more forgiving and nurturing, and like, oh, you'll find some time, it'll just pop up, and then you'll want to do that thing.
Yeah.
Kind of releases me from that treacliness.
And it reminds me of the mastery in the making, because you were very clear at the beginning that you don't become a master overnight, and maybe you never become a master. It's always a process, and you're always on your way, and that's
absolutely. But I was very clear about that. I suppose I tread a thin line between knowing that and allowing myself not to keep stepping up. Does that make sense?
Thin line between knowing that about mastery and making.
Knowing that it'll take time, but also understanding that that you still got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. So there's that kind of thin line. So the danger point is the point at which I go, oh, it's okay, these things take time. And then suddenly I realize I haven't actually been applying myself to it. So
I'm wondering if there's another voice who knows that you are committed, that stays, even if it's once a week in your studio. Is there another voice in there that just knows you're committed, that it takes time, and that you are doing it and will do it, and Monday afternoons?
Wow, that's really succinct, Laurie. That's really succinct. Yes, there is another voice that knows, actually.
What's its name?
I have always dreamed about the latter part of my life, living somewhere remote and being connected via the internet to be able to do this kind of stuff in a little home studio. So I think about a kind of log cabin in a mountain in Italy,
Mm-hmm.
And that dream is still very, very real.
Mm.
So the voice that says, you'll get this done is actually the voice that says, I know how much you want that,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
it's like you'll get it done because you want to.
Mm. It's like one who has permission to dream a little or hang on to that dream. Or
Yeah. Yeah, that's very powerful. Thank you for it. Wow, thank you for that. Just opening the door to that voice actually is very powerful because I feel myself relax immediately. You'll get there because you want to, and you know what the picture is.
yeah. And what's its name?
I don't know why this has come to my head, but it's Italo, Italo.
I thought it might be an Italian kind of name.
Did you? Yeah.
I had Geppetto in my mind. Italo. I love it.
Italo. I think Italo is the first name of isn't there an Italian writer, Italo Salvini or Italo? I can't remember now. Magical realist writer.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Italo. Okay, great. So you've got these characters.
Yeah. I'm going to write this down. The three names, Bobby, Stig, and Italo.
Mm. You'll get there because you want to.
Yeah. That's really nice, isn't it?
It's beautiful, simple, honoring. Feels like it really honors you and your dream.
Yeah, it does. It does actually. And what's lovely about it is that it has total confidence in me. That voice. That is the voice of just knowing. Yeah, knowing confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super. So how do you want to play with these voices as you move forward? Whether you're in your studio or not, or facing overwhelm, or any of those.
What I want to do immediately after this session actually is just go away and flesh those characters out a little bit. Draw little pictures, just write a few words about them so I kind of know those characters a little bit better.
Okay.
Oh, I got a goosebump going up and down my arm there. That's quite significant. It's actually about, so how do I want to work with them? How do I want to play with them? It's just about tapping into how I feel in the moment and asking myself which voice is speaking to me right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a place I don't want to be in, ask myself, what is the voice that I want to listen to, and what do they have to say?
Great.
Yeah.
So we started this conversation with you in your studio and using voices of from a book. And I was just wondering, are there voices that you want to record of these three, or make a story out of them or something to record?
That's brilliant. I hadn't even made that connection. Yes, I will. I'll play around with that this afternoon. Yeah, that'll be really fun.
That sounds like fun.
That's a brilliant idea, Laurie. Yeah. I'll play around with those voices and come up with a few kind of little things that they might say and muck around with how the voices sound. That's brilliant.
Good. I can't wait. I hope next time we'll get to hear some of these voices.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Hear your three different voices. That's great. Great. Well, it feels like that's about a wrap for today.
Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you. That was very surprisingly illuminating.
Nice. Good. You've got some good tools for when you're feeling overwhelmed. And of course, those three voices might show up in other ways in other situations as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just overwhelmed.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.